So today we're going to talk about the Hims and Hers stock crash that's currently going on the stock. It's down around about 11% as recording this video, because today I just wanted to say how stupid this crash is. It's one of those days where it's frustrating to see the stock down that much because it doesn't deserve to be down that much, and I thought I'd talk about it because maybe a few people are panicking about it, and realistically it's not much to panic about. In fact, the stock shouldn't be down today. I was actually going to do a video on something else, and I did start making the notes for it, but there's actually quite a few details to it, and I realised that I weren't going to get all the details together for the video for 6 o'clock tonight, so I thought, you know what, I might just knock that video back to Monday. So I'll still probably get that video to you guys. I just need a bit more time to put it together because it's a bit more of a detailed video. But this one, just a bit of a news recap, which is obviously on Hims and Hers, and yeah, it's down today, down 10%, and it doesn't deserve to be down. But overall, in long term of things, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's a stock that we're still up 150% on. It's just frustrating to see it down. But you can see here, it had a bit of a tough time in like August. It was actually dipping down again to about the $13 range, and it looked like we were finally starting to kick it back on again. And then really since we turned to October, the whole market and Hims and Hers has had a bit of a pullback. So why is it dropping? So Eli Lilly's weight loss drug has been removed from the FDA's shortage list. This is what has recently just come out. It came out last night. You might have seen the notification if you're on Trading 72. It said Hims and Hers dropped. I thought I'll have a look at why that is in a little bit. Is it just day-to-day movements, or is there something more than that? And it turns out it was this. So yeah, they took it off the shortage list so other people can not make copycat versions of it anymore. Well, the smaller companies aren't allowed to make them anymore. The larger copycat companies get like a 60-day notice to stop making it, so they can still technically make it for a bit longer. And that's what sent Hims and Hers down, because obviously Hims and Hers have started doing the GLP-1 injections from the May the 20th. If you don't know what the GLP-1 injections are, if you've been living under a rock, they're basically a weight loss drug that basically you inject, and it helps you not feel as hungry. And a lot of people have been coming out and saying that they've had a lot of success with this. A lot of celebrities have been saying that they've had a lot of success with it, and there's that much demand now. Obviously, that's why they got added onto the shortage list, and people are able to copycat it. Now, obviously, they say, hey, we can meet the demand now, so it's been taken off the list. So people are going, well, the benefit that Hims and Hers have had since the 20th of May is going out the window, which we have already kind of known for like the last kind of couple of weeks, because that's why the last drop happened. So it's nothing new. We knew this was happening, which is frustrating to see that the news on why the stock is dipping today already got priced into the stock a few weeks ago, when it was already previously hinted that was going to happen. And then another thing today, which is actually quite funny, is that obviously the stock is dropping off Eli Lilly news. But the thing is, Hims and Hers don't do a copycat version of that one. They actually do the one of Ozempic and Wegovy, which isn't created by Eli Lilly as far as I'm aware. They're actually supplied by Novo, which at the moment is still currently on the list at the moment, on the shortage list. So they can actually still make it at the moment. But the big thing with all this is that we kind of knew this wasn't going to be a permanent thing for Hims and Hers, and it's not a major driver of the growth. When we look at Hims and Hers on the recent earnings, since they have actually started selling the GLP-1s, they said here that in the second quarter we were able to drive north of 300 million of revenue from our suite of offerings outside of the GLP-1. So even without the GLP-1 in the latest quarter, Hims and Hers made 300 million of revenue. In that quarter, they made revenue of 315 million. So only 15 million at the moment is coming from the GLP-1. Like 5% of the revenue is GLP-1. Everything else is all the other categories that have in the business. This is a very small part of the business, and yet it's having the ability to move that much of the stock. Like so far this year, the GLP-1 has contributed about 15 million of revenue to the financials this year. But when you look at the market cap today, there was around about 300 million worth of market cap wiped off the stock. That's how stupid that drop was today. Like the contribution from GLP-1, the market cap that was wiped off was 20 times the revenue contribution. So we already knew this was going to happen. The copycat that Hims and Hers are using isn't even affected just yet. And the market cap that was knocked off the business was 20 times the contribution revenue. It was just absolutely stupid. And it's to the point of view where I will actually be quite happy when the GLP-1 is totally gone out of the Hims and Hers business, because realistically the company, it grew 52% in the last quarter. Even without the GLP-1 contribution, I think the growth was still like 44%, which is just insane growth. And you know what? I'll still be happy with 44% growth. That's still very, very good. It's still a lot higher than what everyone was expecting at this point. And I'll actually be quite happy because it feels like a lot of people at the moment have been in Hims and Hers that are like day traders, momentum traders that are following this GLP-1 news. And I'll be actually quite happy when it totally goes out of the business, because then we'll just go on to consistent revenue and their actual the products that are contributing the big chunk of the revenue, the 300 million of the revenue, that will get the focus again. And that's the main thing. That's the long-term growth drivers, and that's more important. And I'll be quite happy when it's gone, because like I said, I think all these people that are day trading it and causing this volatility in the share price will hopefully be gone by then. And then we can actually focus on the business, because we need to get back to what the business is doing. All the mental health offerings that they have at the moment, the other weight loss products they're working on at the moment. The success that's driven this business, not since the whatever it was, the 20th of May, we go back to the actual categories of the business that have grown the success since 2020, 2021, and we've seen this growth trajectory where the growth has been insane and the profitability has been absolutely insane. And obviously we're sitting on a company with an absolute amazing balance sheet here. And then you can actually go back to focusing on the numbers, which you look at the numbers here, and the good thing is that, I guess the good thing here is that it might create the volatility to go be able to buy Hims and Hers back at good values, because this volatility did allow me on this September the 8th to go buy Hims and Hers again. Obviously you guys on the Patreon know this, and I think oh no, I've not done the stocks I'm buying for October, so there's a surprise for you. When I do the stocks I'm buying in October, you'll actually see Hims and Hers come on the list for the first time. I bought my first shares since October 2023 when the stock was $6 in September. So if it gives me more chance to go buy Hims and Hers back at like $13, $14, I'll go buy it. So that, I guess, is the positive out of all this, because you look at the numbers now and the valuation that it's back at. Hims is actually starting to look relatively cheap now. If I've put growth numbers here of 18, 22, 25% in, and they're still, without even the GLP-1, they're just coming off 44% growth. So this is majorly conservative. Profit margin of 5, 8, 12%. The reasons are going to get to double profit margins, and even this is conservative. And right now on there, I've got 20 times earnings in. I'm sorry, but if you're doing any of these numbers here, you're not trading at 20 times earnings. And the upside is still very good here. Realistically, I would expect it to be on the middle and top range, and I think we'll be trading at more at 20 times earnings. I think this company will be trading more towards like 60 times earnings. And if I put the company up at 60 times earnings, right now I'm looking at this stock thinking, if they execute on 22% revenue growth, 8% profit margins, and trade at 60 times earnings, there's like a 4x here. And obviously I'm already up 100 and something percent on the position. So it'll be even more than that for me. And it could even, if it grows at 25%, which is still way below what they're growing right now, 12% profit margin, 60 times earnings, there's nearly an 8-bagger sitting here as well. So yeah, you know what? As much as the GLP news today and the stock dropping for stupid reasons, and it's frustrating and it should be dropping, I tell you what, I'll be glad when it's all kind of gone. But in the short term, if this puts Hims and Hers back down at like $13, I'm going to take some shares. I'll be buying some shares, because I think the upside is still very, very good on Hims and Hers. And, it's my second largest position, but I could put it as my first largest position, because I compared Hims to DraftKings, and I do believe Hims has executed better than DraftKings in the last kind of 3 years I've owned them. I believe Hims has executed better than DraftKings. So I would be willing to put Hims and Hers above DraftKings now. I didn't think that would happen 3 years ago. Obviously, they both executed very well, and both executed better than what I thought. Hims has just gone to another level. I've never seen Hims and Hers do a bad earnings report. I've never seen Hims and Hers do, they've always been 10 out of 10 earnings reports. I've never even seen them do a 9 out of 10. They've always been very, very good earnings reports. So even if you take the GLP-1 out, I think there's a good upside here. So yeah, that's my takeaway from today. Stupid drop, shouldn't be dropping. And if anything, I'll be glad when the GLP-1's all gone from it. But in the short term, if it creates a buying opportunity at like $13, $14, you'll see me probably be buying Hims and Hers, and I'll actually focus to get Hims and Hers my largest position in my portfolio over DraftKings. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video today, guys. See you in a bit.